Freemasonry, according to illustrious Albert Pike, 33rd degree in his first degree entered apprentice lecture in Morals and Dogma. Nothing usurps the place of, nor apes religion, but it is plainly religious in nature. In this spirit, Pike proposed a decalogue meant to express not the tenets of one faith, but a universal morality. The Decalogue most commonly refers to the 10 Commandments or 10 Maxims of Moses, delivered, according to the Bible, by the God of Abraham to the Hebrew prophet Moses at Mount Sinai after the Exodus from Egypt. Although the literal phrase 10 Commandments does not appear in Scripture, the commandments are enumerated in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17, and Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 4 through 21. It is generally accepted that these principles represent a cultural and liturgical touchstone for Jewish and Christian adherents. They have endured to the present day, and there is something appealing about a short list of seemingly universal rules from which few in the Judeo-Christian tradition can dissent. Freemasonry, according to illustrious Albert Pike.
Love and peace on this holy day, selective quotations, Christian amalgamation, and the manufacture of authority. This reading addresses a specific act of misrepresentation carried out through selective quotation of Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma, followed by a theological insertion that Pike himself explicitly rejects. The method used is simple. A short sentence is isolated, its context is removed, and a Christian framework is then imposed where Pike did not place one. This is not interpretation, it is amalgamation. The claim being made, after quoting only one fragment through Masonry, neither usurps the place of nor apes religion. The Scottish Rite video then claims that Pike was referring to the 10 Commandments of Moses, implying that morality is rooted in biblical law. That claim is false, and it is disproven by Pike himself. Albert Pike does not elevate the Christian Bible as a moral foundation of Masonry. He states plainly, the Southern jurisdiction claim the right to exclude the Bible and not be governed by it. Pike's Transactions, 1870, Appendix, page 214. In the words of Albert Pike, the Bible is the only rule and law of York Masonry, while we, without requiring our brother to reject it, do not accept it as our code. You are aware, my brother, that it does not take a very cunning casuist to find in it the justification of every injustice perpetrated by man. This alone destroys the assertion that Mosaic law is foundational to the craft. The following quotation is what is stated before you see Pike's 10 Commandments that are within the Morals and Dogma, which are not the ones of Moses. The Holy Scriptures are an entirely modern addition to the symbols, like the terrestrial and celestial globes on the columns of the portico. And the reason why he says that is because they're symbolizing as above, so below. The higher self and lower self, when they can just tell you that it's within, but they want you to look without. And that is Pike's language, not mine. So when modern bodies attempt to smuggle Mosaic commandments into Masonry through selective quotation, they are doing precisely what Pike warned against. Pike did not give the Mosaic 10 Commandments. Pike does not reproduce the 10 Commandments of Moses. Pike's commandments within the Morals and Dogma are ethical, not Judaic law. And most importantly, Pike adds a commandment Moses never gave. Ye love one another. He that saith he is in the light and hateth his brother remaineth in the darkness. This addition alone proves Pike was not referring to Moses. You cannot claim Mosaic law and then append a Johannine moral test that condemns religious hypocrisy. As well, they are keeping their brothers in the dark, proving that they hate their brother, which are keeping them in the dark, but they claim that they are in the light. The Christian amalgamation. What is happening here is not preservation, it is retroactive Christianization by claiming Pike meant the Mosaic 10 Commandments. The Scottish Rite is attempting to re-anchor Masonry in Christian authority, despite Pike explicitly rejecting biblical supremacy. This is not tradition, it is doctrinal revision. The beginning of Christianity. The same deception is addressed directly by Noble Drew Ali. The 10 Commandments were used by the rich to rule over the poor, not as spiritual liberation, but as social control enforced by fear, punishment, and priestly authority. Christianity, as institutionalized, became a system where law replaced love and obedience replaced enlightenment. This aligns perfectly with Pike's warning that Scripture has been used for trickery, and that morality divorced from inner illumination becomes tyranny and despotism. One of Pike's favorite words, despotism. The shared standard, light versus control. True light must be awakened within. When commandments are weaponized, when Scripture is selectively quoted, when context is withheld, that is not light. By Pike's own added commandment to claim illumination while keeping brothers uninformed is to remain in darkness, and that's exactly what they did. This is why responsibility rests with leadership, specifically the sovereign grand commander, Jim Crow. Authority does not excuse doctrinal distortion. Silence does not absolve omission, and selective quotation is not instruction. If Pike is to be cited, he must be cited in whole. If Masonry claims light, it must not govern by obscurity. They knew people would not look within the morals and dogma. This reading restores what was removed: Pike's rejection of biblical supremacy, his warning against scriptural trickery, and his moral test that condemns those who claim light while withholding truth. Albert Pike warned that Scripture becomes deception when severed from understanding. Let no man claim light while governing by darkness.